welcome back to my channel. So I'm finally back and recording my first video after maybe like 6 weeks or so. I've wanted to record this video for a really long time, but it's been really hard for me to record this, and I'm still trying to adjust. If you guys didn't know or aren't aware, because I didn't publicly say it, I was tested positive for coronavirus, and I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about my symptoms and how they started, and how it's very important for you guys to be very safe. Even if you feel like you can't get it, or you're for some reason untouchable, as did I, and apparently it just happened to happen to me. And I am not ashamed of what happened. It was just something that I just regret, but at the same time I don't, in a way where it has brought me closer to my family and to God. And I just feel like everybody needs to be aware of what's happening, and that everything is really real. I'm sorry if I get emotional. It's just, this video is gonna be really real and really raw, and I'm gonna tell you guys everything, because it's really scary to be going through something like that, especially if it's yourself or your closest family or friend. But I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys my story, and you know, if it brings awareness to you, if it makes you be more careful, if it makes you be aware of your surroundings and who you're around, and you know how I prevented it from spreading even more. Even to this day, I'm still paranoid, and I think that it's something that's gonna stay with me for a while. It shouldn't bring you down, or it shouldn't really, you know, prevent you from living your life. I'm healthy now after, I believe it's been like 7 weeks today. And you know, it's really scary and traumatizing to go through something like that, but I was very grateful and thankful to have everybody in my life that took care of me during the time, and I'm just happy to be back home. So my symptoms started with, I started waking up on a Monday. I think it was, I'll put in the date. It was a Monday. And I started waking up with like this weird hangover headache. And I woke up like that Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, I woke up with a headache as well. And then I just thought that I wasn't drinking too much water, or I wasn't, you know, hydrating myself, because I usually drink a lot of water. So I just thought it was that. And Wednesday, throughout the day, I noticed that when I was working, because I'm working from home, I couldn't really concentrate. I felt really tired in a way that I'm anemic, so I usually feel tired sometimes, but not as tired as I was feeling. And I was also I was feeling really nauseous when I was eating like lunch, but I thought it was because I was on keto. I was fasting during the day, and then I was taking my shakes, so most of the time I was feeling I thought it was because I wasn't, you know, eating correctly. So then at night I started feeling really woozy, like when we were making dinner. I started feeling like I couldn't bend over because I was like gonna throw up, and I thought that I was pregnant. So the next morning I thought I was pregnant. So the next morning I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a test, because this isn't normal for me to feel like this. I thought it was my anemia, and I thought it was like a pregnancy scare. Well, not scare, but a pregnancy, you know, situation. That's why I wasn't feeling like myself. But at nighttime I started feeling, this was like maybe 10 o'clock, I was feeling really warm inside. and I noticed that my body temperature was different. So I decided to take a shower. I took a cold shower and I noticed that it was a fever. So I immediately texted my boss and I told her, you know what, I'm not feeling right. I'm gonna call my doctor in the morning and see what they tell me. So I'm gonna see how I feel during the night and then call my doctor. So immediately the next day, which is Thursday, I called my doctor and I let him know, how I was feeling. And immediately, as myself, as paranoid as I am, I immediately thought that it was the virus. So I called my doctor and, I told him my symptoms. I told him the next day I actually woke up feeling congested. I had runny nose and I had a sore throat. And I had this huge headache, which I didn't know why. So I told my doctor, I had a fever the previous night before. And they're like, you know what, just, try to stay away as possible from people. And you're not a candidate to get tested because, one, symptoms are not severe. So then they give me this website to get tested for free because at the time there wasn't resources that I knew where to get tested. So anyway, I called my boss and I let her know that I was going to get tested. And this testing site was somewhere in LA. It was like 45 minutes from my house. But then she shared a link with me that was here in my county, and so that's what I did. I went to go get tested, but my doctor told me to wait 2 days for my symptoms to get worse. If my symptoms got worse, to wait 2 days and then get tested. So that is what I did. I got tested on Friday, May 22nd, and on I believe it was Tuesday, May 26th, I got my results and they told me that I tested positive for coronavirus. I thought that I was going to be negative, one, because my symptoms weren't as bad. I just thought I would have the flu. But, I was preparing myself for the worst, and, I was praying every night and I was afraid. But I think that what kept me going was just preventing. I was thinking, just think like you have it. And I did. And I think that it made me more safe because I had gone out and I had gotten Lysol before this, so I was prepared. But I never thought that I would get it. So every time that I would go up to the bathroom, because my bathroom was on the 3rd floor, I would Lysol going up and coming down. Everything that I touched, I wiped. But so after I tested positive, my first thing that came to my mind was, how can I prevent this from spreading? Thought about kids in our home, and I was so afraid for it to get to the point where I've spread it. And the first thing that came to my mind was to isolate back home. So I called my mom and, I let everybody know before, when I tested positive. But my next plan was, how can I isolate myself and where? So I let my dad know, that I tested positive, and if I can stay with him not with him, but in his room, just because back home he has a bathroom in his room, and I can stay there until, my isolation period is over. So that's what I did. We packed her stuff and I left. I literally just took like pajamas and underwear, which I still had to buy more clothes because I didn't want anybody to wash my clothes after finding out, that I was positive. My sister, gladly, she has been through this. This video is so hard to record, you guys. It's like the most difficult thing that I've ever done in my life. And so my sister basically took care of me throughout the whole thing. And my fiance, my brother-in-law, my dad, my mom, they were all taking me food. So the process was to isolate myself in the room. And my boyfriend stayed with me because my doctor told me that if I had it, that most likely my partner had it. So he was isolated in the room with me, but we kept ourselves separate. Like, as soon as I found out I was sick, I didn't, like, we slept in the same bed, but we didn't hug or kiss or nothing. So it was the same when I was in isolation with him, and we cleaned the bathroom every night and wiped everything with Lysol disinfectant and everything, tried to be as clean as possible. So he ended up testing negative twice because my doctor had told him to isolate with me, and he tested negative. And then I told him to get out and isolate, and he got a hotel room and he isolated there until he got his results, and he also tested negative. So I was the only one that tested positive, and I'm just happy that I prevented the spread. I'm gonna go back to the rest of my symptoms. I noticed that on Monday, the day before I got my results, which was May 25th, I started feeling nauseous again, and I started feeling like burning inside my nose. And I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. This is just a story that's just gonna, keep going until I finish. But my next symptom was the burning sensation inside my nose, and I started feeling this really sick, like, stomach ache, and that was about it. I thought that the nose situation was something normal, but I've never felt it before, and I just didn't think anything of it because I didn't have any other symptoms. Like, I didn't have a cough. I didn't have, like, shortness of breath. I noticed that going up the stairs, I would get out of breath. And I remember recording videos before this, and I noticed that I would get really, like, out of breath, but I didn't know why. So my next symptoms showed up on June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, which was the worst that I ever felt in my life. I felt like I was okay after coming back home, like the 26th, the 27th, 28th, all those days, I was fine. Like, I had no more flu, I had no symptoms, nothing. And then the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd were the worst days ever because I felt like I couldn't even get out of bed. My body hurt so bad. And also, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys that my body aches were like the first symptoms on day 3, which was Wednesday. But going back to June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, my body hurt so bad that even when I laid there, it hurt to just lay there. So my body hurt so bad. That was one symptom. Then I felt burning all inside my nose, which happened to happen all day long. That lasted all day long for 3 days. My nose burned, my head hurt, like it hurt like worse than a migraine, like 3 times, maybe 5 times worse than a migraine. Like, your head just felt like it was swollen and it feels like it's gonna explode. Like, even my hair on my head hurt to just even be down. Like, I had to have my hair down. I couldn't have a ponytail or my hair up in a bun because my head would hurt of how swollen it was, and my body hurt. I felt warm inside, like warm, like your blood is boiling. The next couple of days I felt warm, like inside my body. Like, my isolation was supposed to be over after 14 days, and it lasted almost 3 weeks. Because I didn't feel well after the 14 days that they tell you. So I still felt sick. I would still get headaches. One day I would be okay, the next day I would feel like crap. Another symptom that I had was my eyes felt like they were gonna come out of my eyeballs. Like, they felt so sore that my eyes got black. Like, my eyes, if I'm gonna post videos of how I looked, you know, during the quarantine. There's gonna be another video because I did record while I was in quarantine, but my eyes felt like I had gotten hit with, like, somebody punched me in my eyes, and my eyes were like super swollen. I couldn't even open them sometimes. Like, for those 3 days I literally laid on my bed all day long. Like, I didn't get up. And after that I would just get a headache here and a headache there, and it was just a waiting game from then on. So I waited at least a month to stay home. I didn't want to come back until I was negative. So, and I didn't have any symptoms for like 2.5 weeks. I didn't feel a thing. So, you know that feeling that I told you that you felt like your nose was burning? It feels like you're underwater and the water is going inside your nose, like that, constantly, like chlorine, bleach. That's how I felt. I just wanted to record this video because I've seen a lot of people that are going out there, or I've seen a lot of people that don't believe in this, or I've seen a lot of people that are like upset because there's a lockdown. But there's a lockdown for a reason. You have to be very, very careful, even if you're out with people that you trust, because you don't know where everyone's really at, you know? You don't know who's around you or who's around them, or how easily this can spread. I just wanted to post my story, and I don't want any negative comments on here. I just want to show you guys what it's like to have it, and if I can help you, then I'm willing to just put myself out there, and I don't care. I'm not embarrassed. If you go outside, if you go somewhere, just be very careful, guys. Like, this isn't a joke. Right now there's so much going on that it's so scary. I'm just blessed to be alive because I've seen a lot of people die from this. And I know that they say I'm young, but I've seen posts about people that are dying from this. I did the bad thing and I researched while I was in quarantine, and I learned a lot of stuff about it, but it's just so scary to even think about it. Like, even now, it causes me so much paranoia. And I want you guys to see the reality, you know? Like, even now, like, after so long, it's probably been like 7 weeks, it's just hard to adjust to being around people because I was so used to being in a room. And it's scary to think that you can hurt people with yourself, like, just being with people. Like, even now, it's like I'm back home and it's so scary because there's kids around, and it's like even now I still wipe counters, I still wipe, you know, everything that I touch, because it's just paranoia. It's just, I think that I'm still harmful, but I'm not. And it's hard, you know, to go back from this and to be normal again, but I think that it's going to take some time, and I'm okay with that, you know. I'm just happy to be alive and to be back home. Oh. Hi. If they're in isolation, you know, it's hard to get some stuff delivered. So if you're a nice friend and you want to check on your friend, just ask them. Even if it's like hand soap or Gatorade, it doesn't have to be the biggest thing, but anything will help, to be honest. Like, when I was in there, like, I had my family and stuff, but there's people that don't have anyone, or, you know, it's just hard right now. So it's good to be there for your friends and for your family and reach out to them. So Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.